and we're meeting in the central jury room of the Hood County Justice Center at 1200 West Pearl. Would you stand for the invocation, please? Our Heavenly Father, as we're gathered here tonight, we want to be under your guidance and under your leadership, Lord, in all that we do. Lord, just bless this country, bless all of our leaders, bless our troops, and bless us for your service. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Join me as we honor the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want me to pledge to Texas?
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Be seated. Bob, we have special presentations tonight.
First things first, I'd like to bring Carrie Chen up for TAC, and she wants to talk to us about our participation in the Healthy County program.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Judge and Commissioners, for having me tonight. Again, my name is Carrie Chen, and I'm with the Texas Association of Counties Health and Employee Benefits Pool Wellness Program called Healthy County, which you're probably familiar with. Hood County has been participating since 2009 in the program. And I'm here tonight to basically congratulate the county on their success with the program. Hood County is always among our top performers, and happy to announce that this year, overall participation for our two main programs, Hood County ranked number 2 out of all of our participating counties. So that's something you should be very proud of, and we appreciate it. We have a way we can reward counties for participating, and that's called employer rewards. And basically what that is it's a way to give back to the county. We appreciate all the effort that goes into marketing the program and motivating employees to participate. We understand that there's no one at the county who has a full-time job as wellness coordinator, but these are folks that go out of their way, in addition to their full-time jobs, to make a difference with the employees, get the word out, and get them motivated to participate. We had 2 big programs this year. That was the Health Risk Assessment Program, in which we encouraged employees to take a quick 10 to 15 minute quiz online provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield. And this is a good way to get employees to kind of get a good idea of their overall health status. The second program was the Path Walking Challenge. This year was Trek the Himalayas. It was a 10-week walking challenge, and we had 76 employees from Hood County complete that, which is really, really great. Employees who completed those 2 programs were eligible for Blue Points, which is the reward system on the Blue Cross Blue Shield website. And what we do at TAC is, for each employee who completes those programs, we grant the county an equivalent of $25. So tonight, with the participation we had from Hood County employees, we're able to give back to the county $21.75. So that's $2,175 that the county will receive to go toward wellness initiatives and, use toward health fairs or biometric screenings, flu shots, whatever the county sees fit. We did include some additional items this year that we felt were really important for the county to be able to use money on, and that includes incentives. So things that you can reward people who are participating in programs, get them motivated. We all know that incentives play a huge role in getting people participating in wellness programs, and so there are some guidelines that are listed on this application, and I will go ahead and the first left-hand side enough. You'll see the application and all the rules and guidelines are listed. We're going to allow up to 20% of the employer rewards amount to go towards those incentives. So that's a good chunk of change the county can use to help motivate employees, and it also leaves a good amount left over to help subsidize things in the county, such as flu shots, lunch and learns, biometric screenings, purchasing some fitness equipment, etc. And again, we are just really excited to see the motivation year after year. I know that Steve and Bob and Amy have done such a great job, and I know that they have more people that help them, but your support is so important, and I think that you know, the participation wouldn't be there without it. So we can't thank the court enough for their support of the program, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Last year, Carrie, we gave flu shots. That was one of the things we did last year with the money, and obviously we just had a meeting before the court tonight, so you told us we could do some things different this coming year. So who was the first, and if you don't mind me asking, what county was first?
It was Wichita. Wichita County, they were first again this year. They have they have quite a few more employees, but Hood County was pretty close behind, so should definitely be proud. And we have over 100 counties that are participating actively in the program, so that's a lot of people in the running.
Judge, I think if Carrie's going to present the check to Bob, I think then Bob has a presentation to make as well with Carrie right there, I believe.
I do.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You bet.
Bob, we didn't get a picture of that?
Yeah, we'll get it here in a minute.
Okay,
Kerry knows he's not going to leave yet.
okay.
Judge, Commissioners, we would have not gotten to where we are without the hard work and dedication of one of my employees, which is Amy Dykes. Now, Amy not only was a participant in the program, but when she was out having an operation, she was at home and had the people email her so she could log their steps in every week. She went way above and beyond what was required or thought of for a person. We've got a plaque that I want to give to her, and I'll read from it if it's all right. It says, Amy Dykes, through your unselfish determination and fortitude, once again, Hood County is among the highest participating counties in the Healthy County program. Without your persistence, calling employees, logging their results, helping them with any questions, this accomplishment would never have happened. The Commissioners Court and the employees of Hood County wish to thank you for your loyal dedication to the project. Dated April 9th, 2011. So, Amy? We got her this time. She didn't know what to do.
Why don't you get one with Carrie in there too, and so y'all can, I think we can put that in the newsletter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. We appreciate it.
Bob, is there any more special presentation? Okay. Does any citizen have anything that they would like to address that's on the agenda? If so, the sheriff has forms. Anyone? No? Okay, thank you. Next item is consent agenda. Does anyone wish to pull anything off, any commissioner?
Move we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Heatherington, seconded by Commissioner Roan to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
One question I have for the purchasing agent. We're declaring these as surplus, and you're putting on auction to Renee Bates. Is that correct, for all the surplus items? So 1, 2, and 3, the miscellaneous, you're going to do Renee Bates as well?
Okay, any other discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 8 will be business on subdivision roads and plats. Don?
Judge Cochran, Commissioners, this public hearing is to discuss and consider the approval of the replat of 569R in Oak Trail Shores, Section A. It involves the combining of lots 569 and 570, which in turn creates a 323 thousandths of an acre called Lot 569R. The Development Department does have on file from the Homeowners Association of Oak Trails stating no objection to this replat. The property is located in Precinct 4 within the Water Quality District, and this replat does meet all the requirements of our plating procedures. Staff does recommend approval of this replat.
Okay, a public hearing is now open. Does anyone wish to make a comment or address the item of the replat of 569R in Oak Trail Shore, Section A, located in Precinct 4? Any comments? Okay, the public hearing is closed.
Motion to approve the replat of 569R in Oak Trail Shores, Section A.
Second.
Okay, have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve the replat of 569R in Oak Trail Shores, Section A, located in Precinct 4. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Budget and Finance.
Good evening, Judge and Commissioners. I actually have a few budget amendment requests for your consideration. The first one I intended to bring to you at last court. It was from Constable Chad Jordan, and in the rush of things, I neglected to give him an opportunity to present this budget request. It is, he's asking to move $300 out of supplies into dues and subscriptions. Those are for search fees, and he's asking to move $1,000 out of supplies into uniforms and accessories to purchase duty gear that is worn through and failing. Is the constable here if he would like
Yes.
to?
Chad, would you look?
Address the court.
May it please the court. I had brought that about and requested it before we had the, what happens the last 2 months of the budget year where you can only spend $112. And I'd asked to spend that before that because we have duty gear that need to be replaced that's very worn. Some of it has holes and it's ratted and just needs to be replaced. And now that we're into the last 2 months, the question would be if it's transferred, do I have the opportunity to spend it? If not, then I rescind that part. But I still ask for the transfer of the $300. That pays for the research that we do on our tax sales and on individuals. Our upcoming sale that we have in September, we're going to have 195 properties on that one sale. So it's going to be a lengthy one too. And that's what that was requested for.
Does anyone have any questions of the constable? Thank you, Chad.
Judge and Commissioners, the other item that came to my attention just yesterday was that the line for autopsies is short. Presently, we're waiting $2,810 of an autopsy that at the moment we don't have budget to pay. This is a public necessity, and for that reason, even though I had intended to bring this to court 2 weeks from today, it seemed to be a good time to ask the court to consider this, to transfer $15,000 into the autopsy line from the general contingency line, which is $409,497 in the general fund. I have heard from one of the JPs, and Judge Castillo said there's just really no control over when an autopsy has to be ordered. It is a public necessity, so on their behalf, I would like to ask for that budget amendment as well. I didn't know if any of the justices of the peace are in the audience and they would like to address the court on that tonight.
Well, I think everyone knows that we've had an unusual year this year. Is there any discussion on this from any commissioner? Or is that the only two you have, Stan?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I'll accept a motion to consider the budget line item amendments.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Roan. Any further discussion?
I think Chad asked the question is if we're allowing him to move this money, does he have to come back if he spends 1/12? So we can either act on it now or wait to see his purchase orders and then act on it. But I mean, if we're going to allow him to move the $1,000, then obviously I think that we made the decision to let him spend it. So I don't think he needs to come back and ask to be considered the 1/12 for this month or next month as well.
Okay, then I have a motion that to approve the line item commitment amendments and to allow Constable from Precinct 4 to spend the money and not be under the 1/12 rule. Is any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 2, consider payment of bills.
Judge and Commissioners, the total bills for your consideration are $747,418.55. Some of the larger items are for Ben E. Keith for jail groceries, $11,118.06. For bio landscape and maintenance, $20,110.58 for contract mowing. For the City of Granbury, $39,279.93 for utilities. For Ergon Asphalt and Emulsion, $116,484.29 for road ops materials. To J.C. Stoddard Construction, a progress payment on the courthouse restoration, $355,951.92. For postal meter recharge to Pitney Bowes, $40,000. To TDCJ, the cashier office, that's the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, $11,420. That is a refund from adult probation of certain Rider 80 state aid in the adult probation department. Based on an audit, they came down and found out that those expenditures had not been justified. To Vulcan Construction Materials, $16,028.28. To Verizon Wireless, $3,152.48. Those are the larger items. I'd be happy to address any questions you might have about those items at this time.
Move we pay the bills.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Heatherington and seconded by Commissioner Simpson to approve paying the bills. Any further discussion?
I'd like a little more information on the Texas Department of Corrections for the adult probation. Since adult probation is a state entity, I'd like to, is that a grant that we're paying back or?
It was state money. When Shelley took over the office, her first day on the job, she found out that an audit had been underway. And she got the opportunity to respond to the audit, although she had not been there when the audit was originally conducted. Rider 80 was a special initiative of state grant monies. It came from the state. They had not actually spent the money. The officers who were scheduled as supporting the money actually did not have the certifications that are required, and the auditor had the findings that that money had not been properly justified and would have to be returned.
So 087-340 is just adult probation, the money is coming from one line to the other going back. It's not coming out of general coffer, correct?
That's correct.
It's not money that was spent and being returned.
No, they had other monies that had not been spent. The audit turned up that it just wasn't properly earned. Even though the former director of adult probation was of the opinion that it had been properly earned. It was just a disputed item, and in that case, typically the state agency wins.
Most of the time.
Typically, yeah.
Any further discussion? And I'll call for question. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have anything on item 3, consider approval any item exceeding 1 month's appropriation?
I believe the purchasing agent does have some comments for the court, and then I'll go over the line items that came to my attention. Nelda?
I have a couple of items that I would like for you to consider and hear about. The computer department has ordered shirts, one for each member of their staff. In order to do the embroidery, they're going to be about $28 short. So that will, if they spend it, it's going to be over the 1/12. So I'd like to get approval from you guys to be able to move forward with getting the embroidery on their shirts. The other thing is the fire marshal has requested 20 more red on white burn ban signs. They're two-sided. The cost is $450. 1/12 of their budget out of $332 would be $202.50. We have not approved this yet. It's still in RFE form, so I need to find out if y'all are willing to do this or not. If you'd like to see the quote, I'd be more than happy to show it to you. They do have a quote from H&H Printing.
That the only two, Nelda?
Yeah, and I want to ask for a clarification just for my own good. But these are the only two that I have.
Okay. Any questions on these? Any discussion from commissioners?
When was the shirt order placed? Do you have a date?
I don't have the paperwork for the actual shirts. I just have the paperwork for the embroidery.
Okay.
Jackie's here. Keep asking.
Commissioner, those were ordered the middle part of July, and they came in the latter part of July. So we were looking at that, and once we got those and made sure that they were going to work, there was one for each of just the technicians.
Okay. I would make a motion to approve both requests.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Simpson to approve both request for approval of items exceeding the 1 month's appropriation.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Rowan.
Have discussion.
Pardon?
Have discussion.
All right.
What are these burn bans going on, Brian?
Commissioner, what they were was a lot of the housing developments or HOAs had those signs. And since we've had the nice 100-degree heat, lots of sun and all stuff, they're starting to deteriorate. And once we got a request from about 5 or 6 of them, we said, okay, we got to order some more and get them out there. And so it's the ones that got the H-posts that go on the ground you see up at Arrowhead Shores, Oak Trail Shores, stuff like that. Just kind of helping out those HOAs.
Is it like the fold up that's on TxDOT highways? Do we take them up or fold them up after the burn ban's off?
No, these are actually the H-posts that you put in the ground. We issue them to the HOAs, that way they can go out, put them up, take them down, and help us out with just getting more signage out there. And we've had them in the past, just like I said, with this summer's really taking a toll on the signs that were out there to where they're starting to crack and fall apart.
Any other discussion? And all in favor of approving? Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you, Nelda.
I want to just get a clarification so that I understand all this correctly. That we are mainly looking at the line items that are equipment and supplies, miscellaneous, those kind of items is what purchasing has been targeting. And I want to make sure I'm targeting the right things for y'all to look at. We started last Monday. We manually keep a book for any purchase that's done, but we only really look at those. And I know that there are a couple of odd accounts. Road Ops has an odd supply list, but for the most part, everybody has the same line items. I want to make sure that's what y'all are wanting me to focus on.
I won't speak for the court, I'll speak for myself, but in years past, what's happened and the reason this was put in place was people would go out the last month and spend every bit of their money, which is not their money, it's taxpayer money, and spend it on supplies and rubber bands and pins and trinkets, and that's wasteful. Obviously, the sheriff's got to buy groceries for the inmates. That's got to happen. Electricity could be over 1/10 because of the high rate of usage right now. So not that, but I mean, anything that looks like to you that, especially equipment, like you're saying, it's just like we have extra money in our budget, we're going to go spend it just because if I don't, I'm going to lose it, is the wrong atmosphere that we need to be thinking about with this economy the way it is.
And that's what we're targeting.
Anything controllable, in other words.
I agree, and I would trust, Nelda, your judgment on which things you need to bring before us. I don't think we can establish a hard pat rule because there are going to be exceptions.
I guess when it comes to, say, buying tires for vehicles, do we really need them? And it's not really, I'm not going to know. So that's why I wanted to find
anything you're uncertain on. I mean, it shouldn't. The burden of proof and the burden of saying no to an elected official or appointed official should not be on you. It should be on us. So if you don't feel comfortable saying no, I mean, when we have elected officials trying to buy coffee and other items, that is frivolous, and I'll tell it to them to standing right there at the podium. So if you don't feel comfortable, then you just bring it
to us.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess that's it. I think I had another question, but I forgot what it is right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nelda.
Judge and Commissioners, in my review of the expenditures, there were only a few line accounts that seemed to run over. And I submitted those to you along with explanations. Actually, most of those items that exceeded the 1-month allocation represented purchases that were made and received during the month of July, and the bills are just now coming in. So this being the first court of August, I would expect we would see almost no exceptions. However, the second court of August, when we see next court purchases coming in, if folks don't really watch it, they may run over quite easily. Yes.
That was the other question I had, is are we looking at what's purchased from August 1st on, or are we looking at things that are purchased prior to August 1st and not received until the last 2 months? Because there are many times we have things that are purchased previous in the year, and the money's encumbered with, already. They may not have control of it.
I think we ran into an issue about 2 years ago with the Sheriff's Department. He'd ordered something on back order, and it took till August to come in. And I think you'll see it. We will be one of those problems on the next court because we all have our conference at the end of this month. So a lot of our travel budget will be coming out of this month where we've set on it for 10 months. So, it doesn't take very much to explain to somebody when you ask them what the details are if they're not hiding anything. But it's the ones that, in my opinion, just what we've already talked about. A budget's there for you to use and get what you need along the way to do your job. It's not to sit on and then think, oh, well, I've saved my budget all year long and now I'm going to go out and buy something that's not needed. We give everything that people need a necessity to them. We try not to hold anything back. But at the same time, what we've asked the officials and elected officials to do is to be cognizant of the economy of the budget. We need that money to roll over for the general contingency fund come September 30th.
I just want to make sure I'm doing it correctly because
everything I've seen by email from you or you've done sent to us by paper is exactly what I expect.
I don't want to ding somebody when in August.
No,
It's not, no.
no, because they're following their budget. They're using a 12th of it or a 10th
Right,
of it at that
they're
point.
planning ahead, and if we get into that, you might as well have to review every one of them for 12 months, so.
Right. I just know that if I do it this way, things maybe that go back, and my figures are not. Thank you.
You're welcome. Actually, I intend to make this analysis available to you all the way through October because I want the policy to be adhered to. You put the policy in place on purpose. And if people are ordering things in September knowing they're not going to be received and paid for until October,
And they're over at 12.
you've still got a potential for abuse there. So I think we need to look at every line. And as you've said, there might not be one pat answer for every situation, but if there is an excess, it ought to be easily explained by the parties involved. And I think they ought to have an opportunity to explain those. For example, the first line that came up is in animal control. It's $143 over their 1/12th, but that was to repair some tires, to repair some brakes, and for oil changes. That's pretty easily understood, and some of those were even in July. I believe in Building and Grounds 510-205, there's $127 excess, but those were for shirts that were embroidered during the month of July, and the bill is just now coming in. And the same thing on all of these that are listed. Every one of them represents a July purchase, and so it would be very difficult to argue that people had exceeded their authority. But I would caution you that the second court in August, you're likely to see some excesses, because we'll be looking at all the expenditures during the month that came in.
I think we'll deal with them then.
But I really didn't see anything that I would consider to be an abuse. Okay. If you did, I'd be glad to try and investigate it further.
Okay, are we ready for item number 4?
Yep.
Yes, I would ask the court to give me direction on publishing the proposed salaries for elected officials. This is pursuant to Local Government Code Section 152. Technically, that says we're supposed to advertise any change in salary, but it has been the court's practice and policy in previous years to publish all the salaries in the interest of, in the public interest, and making that known to everyone. What has been suggested to me, and I thought I understood it, was that no elected official was to receive any salary increase from last year.
That's true.
That's correct.
And that the judges who serve on the juvenile board would have their juvenile board fee reduced by $3,900 to a total of $7,500 per year, and that $3,900 would be added as a county supplement to those judges in lieu of the juvenile board fee that they had foregone. And those would be the only changes of which I am aware, and I would ask the court's approval to publish this in the Hood County News.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Heatherington and seconded by Commissioner Rohn to publish the annual salary changes for elected officials in a local paper. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Stan. Item number 5 is to consider a vote to place a proposed adopted rate. You want to discuss that, Stan?
Yes, Your Honor. I sent you a planning calendar for adopting a budget, considering a budget, having a budget hearing, public hearing, considering a tax rate. In order to do that, under Local Government Code provisions 111.007, it is necessary for the court to have one public hearing on the budget. And according to this calendar, that is proposed to be a part of the court's regular Commissioners Court meeting on August 23rd. According to the Local Government Code, that must be published in the paper, your intent to have a hearing to consider the budget no later than Saturday the 13th. So I would need to get this into the paper according to your desires actually today. I've called Jan at the Hood County News, and she's holding a spot open in case you wanted to proceed and schedule the budget public hearing for August 23rd. I would have to publish that in Saturday's paper. And I can get that to her tonight. She'll have it ready for Saturday's paper. So in order to advise the public of what will be considered at the meeting, I need to put this notice in the paper, and that is that the court will have a public hearing on the budget, and whatever rate you want to consider adopting. Of course, you saw in the last edition of the Hood County News that Greg Stewart published the effective and rollback rates. And the effective rate was higher than the current rate, and that was just over 36 cents. So I wanted to ask your direction as to how you wanted me to proceed on this publication. If there's a rate that you want me to use, I had suggested a rate of 34.888 cents. That's 4 eighths, 34.8888 per $100 of valuation. But I would not want to presume to publish that without direction from the court.
Can you also explain to everyone present what this means as far as we're collecting tax dollars from our citizens?
According to my calculations, the present tax rate is 34.3888 cents per $100 valuation. A tax rate increase of 1/2 cent to 34.8888 cents would actually result in Hood County government collecting substantially less dollars in ad valorem tax next year than this year. And that would be right at $640,000 fewer tax dollars collected than were actually levied by the appraiser last year. So it would mean that the county would be doing without a large amount of tax dollars. And if you combine that with what we project to be a reduction in fees and fines from the courts and clerks and JPs of about $400,000, it's going to be a very challenging year because based on this proposal, the court would actually have $1 million less to work with than you have in this current budget.
Well, I wanted everyone to understand that. Just because it's 1/2 cent doesn't mean we're bringing in more money. We're bringing in a lot less.
I believe that's true.
Okay. Does anybody have any discussion on this agenda item?
Well, I think it's important that they understand the effective tax rate is the amount of money that was brought in last year. And to get the same amount of money we had last year, we'd have to go to 36 point something cents, up 2 cents from where we're at right now.
That's right.
We'd have to go up 36 to 43.67.
And this is about $0.015 or thereabouts short of the effective rate. By legal definition, the effective rate is the rate of tax that would raise no more revenues than the previous year. That's the legal definition. I know the math doesn't work out that way, and we found that out last year when, the court adopted the effective tax rate. It actually ended up in more tax dollars. This is actually the reverse of that situation, where you'll actually end up with considerably fewer tax dollars.
But I wanted the public to understand that we are going to have a lot less money to work with, and we did a lot of budget cuts to come to this.
Absolutely. And I think that's going to make it very challenging for the court to deal with situations as they arise. If we hit a bump in the road, it could be a challenge.
Any further discussion on this?
The scary part is that next year in 2013, we're going to have to allow to have a new JP and new constable because we went over 50,000 people. Along with that, you'll have ancillary staff. What Greg Stewart told you and you relayed to us in budget is next year could be worse than we are this year.
That's right.
If we see another reduction in the property valuations, we could see further erosion of the tax rate, and we may see another kick up in the effective tax rate. And you could find yourself really short of resources to deal with those situations that you mentioned.
But I just wanted everybody to understand that just because you got a tax, the rate went up 1/2 cent doesn't mean we're collecting more money.
Actually less.
actually less.
If you apply the same rate against a lower appraisal, obviously you're going to get less.
That's what we're seeing, yes, sir.
That's what we're saying. It's that simple.
I don't think you should sugarcoat it. I think that out there in the general public, it's still, to the general public, it's an increase of a half cent. And the fact is, they need to understand that the thing I haggled with, that I had to understand was we still had to have 270 employees that we had to deal with and take care of. We asked questions about making new employees pay for their insurance and old ones being grandfathered. That was not allowed by the Texas Association of Counties. We asked about reduction in retirement for employees that were new and grandfather ones that were here. That was not allowed by the Texas Association of Counties. So at the same time, I just counted roughly sitting here, 8 employees were removed from the county payroll by attrition. So as we lost folks, we didn't replace them. We have a hiring freeze. Once again, if we lay anybody off because of the way the federal government's doing unemployment tax and unemployment, we pay 60% of their salary. And you said that at budget for not just a week or two, but for 99 weeks. So by laying them off, it's not going to solve our budget problems. And I'm not happy about the 34.8, but at the same time, elected officials and appointed did not get a raise or an increase. But we still have to look out for our 270 employees. Deputies are included on the step plan. All other employees will get their step increase. You know, there's a referendum that's going to be coming around about people wanting a new rec center. There's also people that's going to want Crescent fixed. We have 52,000 people in the county. This was not taken lightly. There was a lot of skin lost and hair pulled out and a lot of screaming and hollering over this budget, and it's not an easy fix. But at the same time, we're growing, and I think when you went over 50 and we have to add people next year, the sheriff's going to have needs, the fire marshal has needs, and we're pretty lean, but I don't think we should try to sugarcoat the fact that we still went up a half of a penny, but even though we are collecting less amount of money, our phones will go to ringing, trust me.
I don't consider it sugarcoating when I look at my own example. I mean, if you are applying a rate of a half cent higher against a lower appraisal, you still come up with less dollars.
I understand that, Commissioner, but at the same time, where we lost our money was through gas wells.
That's exactly right.
I mean, so, you know, once again, the homeowners, the ad valorem, were balancing our books on the back of the homeowners, and that's what they're going to be concerned about. They can't help it that gas prices are down to $3 a cubic foot, where they were 9 to 10. So there will be some that their valuations didn't go down, their valuations went up, and they'll be the ones that will be hurt the most by this.
Yep. I agree.
Okay, do I have a motion to let Stan put this publish this in the paper?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Simpson, seconded by Commissioner Rowan to publish this. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Miscellaneous, consider and take appropriate action to approve the interlocal agreement between Granbury ISD and Hood County for the truancy program.
May it please the court. Judge, Commissioners, what we have on this one again this year is the same as we've had. We started this program in 2005 in conjunction with the Granbury Independent School District. We kept seeing a trend of more and more cases filed in the JP courts. We started seeing the trend of more and more administrators off of the campuses and having to spend time in the courtroom. So what we proposed at that time, and has been ongoing since then, is the ASAP, Absent Student Attendance Program. The school funds it totally. It doesn't cost the county other than administering the program through my office, and has been very successful. And I asked the court to approve and county judge to sign the same.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so Commissioner Berry made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve it. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Consider and take appropriate action on United Way Hood County request.
Good evening, Judge and Commissioners. This past spring, I had the honor of serving on the Hood County United Way Allocations Committee. And I must say, through this process, I had my eyes wide open, and this was really a unique experience, and I would challenge anybody to serve on this was very rewarding to know everything that Hood County United Way does for the citizens here. I was truly amazed, and I was so impressed that I committed myself to them that I would help them with participation, help them in promoting participation in Hood County United Way every opportunity I got, hence the reason I stand before you tonight. I think the most important thing that I learned throughout the whole process was that all of the funds that they raise here stay here in Hood County. I would encourage all of the Hood County employees to participate in United Way deduction through payroll, which we do offer. I would encourage the citizens of this county to help them. In just a few minutes, I'm going to introduce a few of the board members of United Way of Hood County. They're going to tell you about some of the programs that they donate funds to. And I would also like your permission and working with United Way and, of course, our personnel director in bringing United Way of Hood County into the county and talking to our employees about promoting more participation than we're doing right now. We're currently doing about $30 a pay period, and I honestly think if our employees knew all of the services that they support throughout this county, they would do a lot more than they do. And with that, I would like to introduce Mr. Lee Overstreet, Mrs. Tony Ballou, and Mr. Ron Jackson. And I believe Lee is going to speak to you briefly.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you for this opportunity to speak with you this evening. And as I know all of you, and I'm a lifelong resident of Hood County and got involved with United Way several years ago, and I'm on the board, and I am the president-elect. But there's so much in it. You know, my eyes also, just like Kathy, when I've got involved with it, I've been co-chair of the Allocations Committee for the last 2 years, in which each year of the last 2 years, we've allocated over $300,000 to go back to residents of Hood County. Now, again, this money is for Hood County residents. There are a few agencies outside, partner agencies outside of Hood County, but that money goes directly to, which one would be the Child Study Center in Fort Worth, Red Cross, and there's some that do, but again, it does benefit Hood County. And Tony Ballou, who is here, she is our executive director and does a wonderful job for us. And Tony didn't care to speak tonight, but she can tell you anything you want to know. If you have a question, she can answer anything you'd like to do. And I didn't know, Judge, on the video, is that something you want to play tonight, or do you just want to?
You know, I will ask the commissioners if they want to. They have about an 8-minute video, and it contains a lot of Hood County employees on it. Would you like to see that?
You're fine.
I have it here.
If we could, that'd be great.
That'd be good. Okay.
And we'll be glad to finish whenever you, after you show that video, if that'd be all right, Judge.
Why don't y'all, we're going to, while he's getting this, if you want to come stand and address.
Thank you. My name is Ron Jackson. I'm a first-year member of the Hood County United Way. I've lived in Hood County now for 5 years. As we're loading the video, there's some things in the video that I think are important to remember. In 2010, the partner agencies that will be discussed in this video and that we also have in the brochures with us today, Hood County United Way served over 20,000 people in the county. 11 of our partner agencies serve children only. United Way was a big supporter and was one of our main initiatives last year to get Ruth's Place up and started, which has served over 1,100 adults who do not have any health insurance. In its 11 years with United Way, Hood County has raised over $3 million. Of that, all of our money, as was mentioned, goes to Hood County residents through our partner agencies. One thing that I'm impressed with, and hopefully it is a mark that you will remember, all of our administrative overhead costs are raised through a special event. All of the money donated to United Way goes to the partner agencies of United Way. We are partnering this year with Sheriff Deeds, Police Chief Mitch Galvin, and members of a community coalition to concentrate on a youth substance abuse program that is being kicked off through United Way. Our philosophy is to give to the community to meet the needs of our friends, our neighbors, and maybe our family. And just one other note, we had a request today from one of our partner agencies for additional funds this year because of the heat. Many of our residents, as we know, are not as fortunate as some of us, and they are without either electricity or without some type of utility. Fortunately, we were able to supply some monies to this partner agency to help out some of our less fortunate neighbors in the county. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jackie, are you able to get it up and running?
Ron, I'd like to reply and congratulate you publicly as well, all of you, all three of you, and your partner agencies. I happen to be involved in one of them for several years now with the Cook Children's Initiative on child health. And I'm amazed at the spirit of volunteerism we have in Hood County, number one, and the number of hours and effort that's put in by a lot of people that goes very unnoticed but produces tremendous results. And I'm very happy to be involved in it and wish you well. We're looking forward, I think tomorrow night is our walkthrough for our teen court, which has been a year and it's coming. Ever since a few of your partners, myself, visited Cleburne and observed that on 2 occasions. It's been very successful there, and I'm sure it will be here as well. That'll also serve and go a long ways toward the substance abuse program efforts that are coming forward too.
Lee, I'll tell you what we're going to do. While Jackie's trying to get this up and running, we're going to move on. This is not a media that we normally use. So anyway, we're going to table that for just a few minutes, and we'll come back to it. I want to consider and take appropriate action on renewal, improvement of interlocal government between the county and Hood County and the city of Fort Worth in participation of Fort Worth Environmental Collection. And I believe we have James. Oh, you're going to do it?
James is here tonight.
Pardon?
I don't think James is.
See him right back there.
Oh, there he is.
I don't know you.
I kept looking for him, but I didn't see him.
Now to meet James. James meet Nelda.
Well, since he's here, I'm going to let him present it. He knows much more about it than I do. Do you want this?
I have one.
Okay.
Judge, Commissioners, it's that time of year, again, where the contract with the City of Fort Worth is up for renewal, and the contract has not changed. This has been reviewed by the county attorney, and he has indicated that he agrees with the contract itself. But if you remember, this program is for the or to allow the citizens of Hood County to be able to dispose of household hazardous waste. And under this contract, it allows them to obtain a voucher from the Environmental Health Department and then transport that hazardous material to the Environmental Collection Center in Fort Worth. So up for your approval, up for renewal, if you choose to do so, is that contract, which would allow that to go forward.
Well, and one more time, and I really want this in the paper, is because we get comments about this all the time. Go over one more time our recycling.
Okay.
For everybody here. I know it doesn't have anything to do with this, but I want to hear it.
The Hood County Citizens Collection Station out at 244 Bray Street, which is located next to the animal control facility, it's a facility that accepts bulk waste, but in addition to that, and the program you're referring to is recycling of several products. Currently, we accept at that station what I call a single stream recycling setup. We have a large container, and you can bring your plastics usually drink containers, milk jugs, things of that sort out of your kitchen, as long as they're rinsed and clean. They'll have a triangle on the bottom that ranges from 1 to 5. We accept all of those, as well as the number 7s. We don't accept number 6 because it's styrofoam. We also accept glass of all sorts. So we have a lot of questions on a regular basis to our department whether we do, but we've recently started that. So the citizens can bring all their glass out to that facility and put it in the container. We accept paper, which is as long as it's clean and not contaminated, newspaper, cardboard, phone books, junk mail, and so on.
James, since Debbie's writing like crazy over there, this is for the hazmat that was on the agenda. When would you think the next one will be if this is approved? The other one that we had in the spring was overwhelmingly, we ran out of
space.
Actual vouchers in half a day.
Right.
You're going to have another one this fall or winter, or
Well, I was hoping to just let the citizens utilize that on a basis where they transport that themselves. I know the budget itself, because of the tight budget, it went from a larger amount this previous year down to a smaller amount. So to be more efficient, I was going to handle it in that manner. But if you, as a Commissioner's Court, would like to have an event, I'd have to visit with Stan and the county judge about getting more funding for that.
So I guess what I'm hearing you say, for her benefit, for the story, if they see or call your office, they can work off a voucher system and take it to Fort Worth to dispose of it.
That's correct. Currently, that's in place and effective until the end of September, and this contract is for the next year, the next fiscal year.
Okay, thank you. And one little, they do accept metal cans also, but they have to be separate. All the other stuff can go in downstairs, for lack of a better term, and the cans go up there in the metal part, right?
Right, exactly.
Make a motion to approve the renewal and interlocal agreement between Hood County and City of Fort Worth.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington, to approve the hazardous waste environmental collection program for fiscal year 2012. Is any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, James.
One thing that you didn't tell them, that you do still take oil, antifreeze, and tires, right?
That's correct.
All right, consider and take appropriate action, draw 6 more names. We had too many turndowns on the Salary Grievance Committee, so right now we're going to open this back up. I'm going to let Commissioner Heatherington, maybe I shouldn't let him because he didn't have too good of luck.
I didn't do too good.
No, you didn't. Draw 6 names out of here.
Okay.
All right, go.
There's your one.
Janelle Took.
There's your 2.
Number 2 is Jana Sullins.
Janice what?
Jana, Janna, Sullins, Sullins. And number 3 is Roger Lois Morgan. Next is Dalton Gilbert. Next is Deborah Perkins.
I gotta have one more.
Somebody escaped, didn't he?
Somebody escaped.
Danny Howard Robertson, Robertson.
Put that back. That's just, unless you want to do 7.
That's Steve Berry.
Judge Jackie's got the video.
All right, very good.
Let's go ahead and finish this while we're here. Is that all we have to do?
Yeah, let's
Motion to approve the 6 names you just drew.
Second.
all right, have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Heatherington to approve the 6 names drawn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And we're going to watch the video now. If you guys can't see it, we may need to do the lights.
That's good.
mentioned the evidence found that's really why those people found out that they weren't sleeping. They were just plain passed out. Had it not been for the abuse that had taken place, alcohol, drugs, whatever the case may be, it wouldn't happen. But it was always a big now. And they were shut down. Like that, they were going to be fine. They would be like, they're going to go out there and let them all. They were going to get it. That didn't happen. There were 5, 6, 7 died. There's a perfect example of what can happen when young people are using alcohol or drugs to be able. Lives lost when people, they're really bothered. Particularly if they're really spending some time trying to figure out how to tackle substance abuse, particularly alcohol.
I think we have to start and that we need to look at where we are and we need to take care of those things that are in our lives.
As an NRA board member, we did a youth assessment survey. And one of the things we learned from the community is what's the most important thing in our lives in terms of challenges. And number 1 and number 2, the of our community is substance abuse for children and adult substance abuse. From a law enforcement standpoint, substance abuse in this county is the majority of the offenses that we're seeing committed, and the people that we're arresting is all related to substance abuse in some way. The cases that we take to the grand jury, I believe that it probably is about 80% drug cases. What we would say, weighing substance abuse in the community. One of the recommendations was no, thank you. What we really is a coalition in helping solve this problem. United Way's role in the Substance Abuse Council, they're going to keep it going. It's a great thing. I don't know who else would do it. United Way is a great organization for all of the county, for all the different things that United Way does in the community, helping a lot of different organizations and to focus on substance abuse. And have a Substance Abuse Council is a fantastic thing to get going. The coalition is a great asset to law enforcement because it involves getting everybody's head together and figure out a way to tackle the problem. Law enforcement's been doing it on its own forever and trying to figure out ways. But now have a coalition of community members and other organizations getting together and y'all great minds get together and things get fixed. Substance Abuse Council is looking at several programs that occur in substance abuse. And the one I think may be helpful in this, I think this particular case may help highlight, is a program that we call Those Who Host Lose the Most.
We have parents that will have parties for kids at home and allow their friends to come and they provide the alcohol for them.
And their thought is, it's okay to drink in my house. I'd rather drink in my house than drink somewhere else and get caught. And they have this mistaken belief that they can teach their kids to drink responsibly. The sad fact is that children do not drink responsibly. They drink for one reason only, and that's to get drunk. And we're seeing an opposite effect of parents who think it's okay, it's not that big of a deal, and they're allowing their kids to do it. And unfortunately, this community and law enforcement in general is seeing the other side of that. It's a huge liability to them, and not only that, they serve alcohol to a minor that's not their own child, they're just broken the law too. The other one that we just got complete with at the end of April was one called Drugs, dealing with prescription medication that's outdated and unused. And we partnered with the Sheriff's Department, and it was a DEA-sponsored program, which was very, very productive within our city and county.
Our kids have too much access to have prescription drugs at home. Their parents just store up. They think, I'll keep it, I may use it. The kids get it, they take it to school, they sell it to their friends. And that's our biggest problem with the drug use in schools for the kids.
We can give those drugs, those expired, unused drugs out of those medicine cabinets and get the temptation away from kids, and that's a great thing to be able to get that off the streets like that. The one that's really exciting for me is Teen Court concept that was bringing to Greenberry. We established a teen court that's run by teenagers, it's overseen by a judge and adults, but it's a court that's run by teenagers for teenagers to address problems that come up in juvenile courts.
Well, I understand the teen court for one reason, is to help out the court system itself, and how many cases are being filed in the court. And give the school an opportunity to give the kids an out also. I understand the teen court will be the first offense opportunity that is when we go to teen court, let the students be involved in the court system itself and see how things are done, and they can participate in that justice system. And if that case does not go against that student, and allows him to come back and do community service for that teen court. The outlier that will probably go to teen court will probably occur if the first time also.
Great concept, and we need a lot of volunteers for that. Volunteers on the adult side, the volunteers on the youth side, who are JPs, as well as attorneys who are going to be there to help us to instruct these kids, work with those kids. It takes a lot of work to get it all lined up. So keep your eyes open, and there's a lot of things that the Substance Abuse Council is working on, and really appreciate any volunteers to help out with these efforts.
Savannah was a 16-year-old student at Western Hills High. This bubbly girl who loved dancing and music was one of 6 who died when fire struck her Lake Redberry house. But they were celebrating the birthday of her best friend, Alexis Schooler, who also died there.
I had her when I was 18, so we officially grown up together.
Tiffany Ryan raised Alexis in Hope, Arkansas, until this single mom finished college, moved to North Texas, and married. Alexis was the center of her mom's life, funny, but like her father.
I don't know why she does sleepover. I didn't know her was hard. So, unfortunately, I didn't know the whole story. And I do regret letting her go, which I made her stay home.
But her greatest regret is the life unlived, the potential unfulfilled, the girl with a ready smile, who was always such a good friend.
Thought that she was out early.
But now she mourns and waits for final word.
It's somebody's child, it's somebody's daughter, it's somebody's son that was killed in that fire. They're gone. The families are left with a basis.
Let's not have their losses be in vain. Maybe we can prevent somebody else going down that path. So I kind of look at this as maybe an opportunity we can learn from it, and then help convince other youths that there's alternatives, and hopefully promote some safer behaviors.
And it leads to someone's death that makes it that much more tragic. So it's time to get out there and bring forth the message of education and knowledge, and let people know there's a better way. I hate to say that a loss of life can make you rethink things, but we're going to try and jump that. We're going to try and address it before we have that loss of life, before that tragic event happens, like a fire, to get that mindset changed. And if we can do that, then, man, we done good.
Well done.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak with you, especially for letting us show the video this evening. Our request is simply just to ask permission to go into the Hood County departments and to do a presentation, and to be able to tell the employees about United Way and what they're doing. And one other thing too, that we did apply for a grant, and the Hood County Substance Abuse Coalition is funded. We did get a grant, a 10-year grant, $125,000 per year, so it's a $1,250,000 grant that's paying for the coalition. The other fundraising we do does go directly to the partner agencies, which there are 19 of them there down at the bottom of as you open this. So anyway, that is our request, and we appreciate the opportunity to visit with you this evening. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. The way I understand it is you can't go into the individual departments. Is that right, Bob? Under state law. And so we need to figure out a different way. So
There's a way to do it.
I tell you what, let's consider and take appropriate action on your request. Y'all want to just table this for right now and figure out a way of doing this under the laws of the state of Texas, so we...
Along with open enrollment. You can do it during open enrollment as well. You can give them the brochure and explain, let them see this. I mean, 10 minutes of their time on the film's it's a good film. We'll figure, I don't think, do we have to take action tonight? Can we not just work with Bob to figure out how we're going to go
legally the way it's
forward?
worded here, but there's a way we can get this done.
Let Kathy, I mean, obviously she knows the policy of the county. Let her and Bob work out a time and effort and how we're going to go forth between now and open enrollment in October. And then we'll come back and, well, between now and then we'll come back and figure out how we're going to put it in place.
Did I sign the wrong place? Sign on the other side.
Just cross it out and mark it. He did it again.
I have my glasses on.
Okay, then that's what we'll do. We'll just take this under advisement and figure out a way of getting it done. Does anyone else have anything to offer? Any commissioner? Then the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.